Well, we already had the ritual scene, the revelation of a secret connection with scene, and even the "oh you lied and used as scene." Is it time to start the creepy haunting for certain values of the term scene? Yes, sir. Well, the good news is that Chris is the first to die. The bad news is that this isn't enough to end the movie.
Oh.
Oh, how touching. See, they were totally close, you guys. Isn't this breaking your heart and making you understand why Ryan decides to play the game? Aren't you so interested in what's going to happen? Not really, no. Since it is convenient hour, the ritual works and reaches the dreadful red world. Oh, such a feeling of uncanny valley, such a haunting atmosphere, such a sensation of a twisted reality, such a complete letdown. I'm not saying to have blood running down the walls or heads as desk lamps, but at least put some effort into this. Just making the place empty and reddish isn't enough to convey a true sense of being another world. Oh, that's just stupid.
Ooh, it's so scary.
Becky?
He escapes the generic ghosts that you completely, totally have never seen before in any horror movie. And she takes her damn sweet time. Meanwhile, Izzy and Kevin realize that they have forgotten a camera in the elevator, which gives them a good excuse to go back to the building. No, seriously, that thing has footage of them trespassing. I won't be taking chances. The excuse they give to play the game again, however...
What are you doing?
Having fun.
I had more fun when I had to remove my 6 wisdom teeth. Kevin also goes on about how the money he used to put the deposit on the studio came from his savings account, so his dad kicked him out. And don't you know it? I'm no more invested in their issues now than I was at the beginning of the movie. How is Ryan doing anyway? Oh, please, you could go get a coffee at the Ghost Bucks down the street, come back, and that damn 50th floor woman still won't be there in time to catch you. As for the other two, well... Izzy forgets that they're not supposed to look when they reach the 5th floor, so game over. Girl, if you want friends so badly, you could at least try social media first. It won't be much better than this, but you could at least give it a shot, you know. Since Chloe had enough time to do her research about the elevator game, the ghost goes after her. Which turns out to be a waste of time because Ryan calls Chloe and, for some reason, this makes the ghost grow back off? Oh, of course, silly me. Chloe still needs to tell them what she found out. She's like those NPCs who give you a wall text of info that you'll never read entirely. Chloe also tries to call Matty, who has been waiting for a buzz all this time. Okay, that I can believe. But he also receives a visit from the ghost woman, who turns out to be Momo. I think he realized he now has to leave this movie on his IMDb page. But he does go to a restaurant to steal some salt for protection, and to be honest, it's the first and only scene that I actually enjoyed in the entire movie.
No, we just gotta figure out how to close the door. Well, no shit, we gotta close the door, but how? You have anything coarser?
Calling the police.
I don't know if it's because it's a genuinely funny scene, or because the rest is such a pile of boring crap. At least those people will have an interesting story to tell on Reddit. Sadly, we go back to the doll fest. Ryan shows Chloe the footage that is conveniently recorded while in the elevator, and he goes out, "The game is real and I can't give up on my sister." And Chloe goes out, "I need to make sure my friends are okay." And Matt meanwhile made a circle with salt for protection, and he tries to bring some logic into the movie. Oh, you sweet summer child, it's so not worth it.
I thought the game was ruined by that office guy.
You pressed one, but then we went up.
And you looked back?
I looked back because Chloe looked back.
You're both claiming to be cursed?
I'm not sure if this is enough for you to go all the ritual worked since the beginning, but I know it makes little to no difference to the plot as a whole, so who cares? Except that now I wonder if that poor sap is cursed as well. What? I know it makes no sense, but in this movie, what does?
You saw the red world, didn't you? Did you go in? That's the dumbest thing you could have ever done.
Chloe wants to go to the police, Matt says they have to find a way to close the portal, and Ryan wants to know if Chloe fulfilled her role as the info dump source by finding anything else in her research. And because that's this character's whole reason for existing, yes. And if you talk that at least the story behind this whole mess would be original, you have not been paying attention.
It was during a sorority pledge weekend.
Okay, you already lost me. From this point on, you can guess how this goes. No, seriously, whatever you guessed would come next, probably did. Bullies who did an evil act as a prank? Well, a bunch of awful girls locked another, named Ali McCormack, into the elevator shaft. Check. Something went wrong with the so-called prank. They got drunk, forgot her there, and she spent the weekend alone, slowly losing her mind. Close words, not mine. Check. This resulted in the victim dying in a horrible way. On Monday, people returned to work and Ellie was crushed by the elevator. Check. That's 3 strikes on the list of cliches. You're out.
She was crushed by the elevator, causing her spine to shatter, and was very slowly ripped apart.
Well, if you can't make things interesting, you can always add some gore, I suppose. It won't make a difference, but hey, you can do it if you want. You know what? This seems like a good time as any to ask, where have you guys seen something like that before? Yeah, trust me, we'll talk about this later. But Matt starts humming a song that Ryan claims to have heard the ghost humming as well. Hey, maybe they just have similar taste in music and...
The elevator song. Elevator goes up, comes back down.
Freddy Krueger had his little song. Mary Shaw had her poem. That crooked man had a creepy version of the nursery rhyme. This bitch has a dumb elevator song. Wow! I'm just so disturbed right now.
Doors closed, then we ride again. We didn't finish the game.
We have to play again. We have to step out into her world.
Then we ride again.
Okay, this makes no fucking sense to me, and I don't think they have any solid evidence to back this idea up, but to be perfectly honest...
Who cares? Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, why not? Might as well, right? Chloe thinks she still has time to play Mrs. Skepticism, but now that they covered the ghost girl's past and found a way to stop her, it means Ellie is allowed to pay them a visit. This movie lives by the rules of convenience.
Hello?
Yeah, just call the monster right over to us, why don't you?
It's a pity that the writers only now decided to give Matt some personality, because I started to think he could have been an actually good character. But then I would probably be frustrated to see him stuck in this movie, so maybe this is for the best. Like in his case, even displaying a semblance of a personality is like a death sentence, and it's game over for Matty. Great, now we're left with the amazingly boring duo. They return to the building, determined to finish the game and close the portal. Well, come on. We're in the last minutes, approaching the last confrontation. Surely they could make this at least...
All I have is faith in the fact that this has to work.
If it doesn't work, we run like hell. And we don't look back.
But this is gonna work.
No, forget it. Even now they still manage to make this boring. Sweet lord, you're not going to check the school exam results. You're about to face a ghost that can twist your bones like a saw trap. How about showing some actual fear? And while you're at it, at least throw some visions each time the elevator doors open. Heavy blood dripping from the ceiling. See the mangled corpse of the girl. Turn the floor and the walls into rotting flesh. Just do something here. They return to the red bulb's world and take their damn sweet time looking around. Excuse me, hi. Could you have your oh my god, this is all real moment at a time when your life is not in immediate danger? I mean, Ryan has sort of an excuse since he thinks he's seeing his sister. We never find out if it's really her or not. And the ghost girl doesn't attack them because, I don't know, she missed her cue or whatever. So she hurries up to catch them. It helps that she can control the elevator. Wait, could she do that the whole time?
Why are we stopping on 5?
She's not gonna give up. She's not gonna let us go.
Ghost Girl does her routine of talking to the people in the elevator, but Ryan and Chloe know the rules, so of course they won't. Or of course they do. Ghost Girl also decides to rip off the Blair Witch for good measure.
Don't leave me, Ryan. I'm so scared here. Ryan.
And I'm not kidding, this is the end. We have another than Bess doing the ritual, proving that a sucker is born at every second, indicating that the ghost will never rest, and that she'll probably be a laughing stock in every convention for horror movie ghosts. Dear lord, this movie sucks! Sometimes bad movies have at least one or two good elements, but Elevator Game has nothing going in its favor. The characters are too bland to make us care, and as I said, the info dump at the beginning makes it all worse. You need to let us know the characters through their actions. Then again, there's actually nothing to know about those people. Well, to be honest, Izzy and Matt actually have something that approaches a personality. It's not that they are deep or complex, but they're at least a bit fun. I felt like the actors tried their best with the material they got, so that helped. But even that isn't enough to save the movie. For the most part, the focus remains on the most boring characters, and Matt's personality only appears way later, giving him just a few scenes before he dies. The worst part is that some scenes drag on for too long without adding anything to the movie. This time could have been used to actually show and develop both the plot and the characters. Take when Chloe is doing her research, for example. If you want to have a character struggling with parents who don't support or understand her passion, you could have one of them calling. Show her wanting them to see things her way, her frustration at hearing that old speech of "you should get a real job" and so on. Also, yes, as I mentioned, the whole story behind the ghost. Where have you seen something like that before? If your answer was The Ring or Ringu, no kidding. Look, I don't deny that there are some aspects and tropes common to all horror stories involving rituals, ghosts, or curses. I don't deny that it's hard, if not impossible, to avoid those common elements. And I believe that even the worst, most common clichés can be put to good use, if they're presented in a new way or if there is a twist. But this here, it's lazy writing, pure and simple. There are even visual elements that are similar. The X that turns out to be the elevator, the ring that turns out to be the well slit. The girl Ellie being locked in the elevator shaft, Samara and Sadako in their wells. Even the red word can be compared to Samara's word in the tape, only red instead of a pale blue. And you know what? Those similarities could be ignored if they were presented in a different or at least original way. Taking inspiration from other movies or stories or anything, there's nothing wrong with that. But there's an abyss between being inspired by something and basically copying it while adding little to nothing new. You're inspired by something, you want to create something in the same style, go for it. But you have to make it yours, to add your personal touch to it. But this movie is so lacking substance that after hearing the ghost story, you almost expect to find out that the girl is staying in that elevator shaft for the number of days that it takes for her to kill you off. In the end, if you think about it, the overall story is pretty short. There isn't much to work with, which wouldn't be a problem if the movie knew how to add something instead of just stretching the scenes as much as possible. The result is a movie that's not even cliché, it's generic. Nothing stands out, nothing calls your attention. It just relies on the initial idea and that's it. Some bad movies still get at least an emotional response from you. Elevator Game can't do even that. Perhaps you could do a sort of drinking game while watching it, but I think even that would be boring after a few minutes. Well guys, that's it for today's session. Thanks so much for joining me. See you the next time everyone, stay safe.